changed the formation, and it seemed like it had a pretty tangible impact on the game. What are your thoughts on how the guys were able to implement those ideas, and what did you see over the course of the game as everything took hold?
I thought in the first half, defensively, the system paid dividends. With the ball, we weren't as good. That's why we made the change at halftime, brought Wilfred in, put him a little bit higher up the field, and we wanted to control the game with the ball, which I thought we did in the second half. I don't think you'll ever see a Columbus team hit as many long balls in a game. I think Zach Stefan very rarely tried to pass out of the back. So by creating 1v1s on the with our wing back and their fullbacks, they put Valenzuela really high, and they put Awful very high on the right-hand side. And in the first game, it created a lot of overloads for our players and some tenuous moments with our midfielders. So I thought that worked out very well. Was not worried about or didn't feel in danger at all on losing the game. And then we conceded a very sloppy goal. On a set piece, and that can be something we only have ourselves to blame. But I thought the players adapted themselves very, very well to the system, and I thought the effort they put in was really good.
Coach, to piggyback on Kyle's question, earlier in the week you had said that you guys weren't going to change, Greg wasn't going to change. What was the rationale behind going to the 3-5-2? Was it something that you saw in the film?
Well, let me stop you there. A system, a number system, is not a change. It's a change of numbers. It's not a change of philosophy. We're a high-pressing team, and we press high. I think a lot of you guys get caught up in number system. Our philosophy did not change one bit, as you saw in the game. I thought it was a better formation to put out so we could match up more 1v1 against the players out on the field. So the message to the players was no different than it always is. In the first half, I did want us to be a little bit better on the ball, and in the second half, I thought we were. But there was no change, so to speak, other than numbers.
Chris is defending tonight. I mean, the 70th minute comes back and makes a great play to keep Tierney.
Okay.
Makes the great play to dispossess and to keep it at 0-0. What can you say about Chris's play tonight? And he's making it very difficult for you to pull him off the pitch.
All the players are making it difficult to change players. We've said it many times. The training's very competitive. Chris got his opportunity against Toronto. I thought he played very well. I thought through the week he trained well, and he deserved a start. I don't think Chris has ever played wing back before, or for a 90-minute game, so to speak. I think maybe at times he said he has when they've been losing or something, and switched to 3 in the back for a few minutes, but never through a 90 minutes. I thought he played very well.
Brett, can you talk about where Diego and Kelvin was playing tonight? It's hard to slot in there. Do you feel that you guys missed a little bit with Diego out?
I thought with the formation that we put, Diego would have gone in either where Christian Pinilla was, and we would have found another position possibly for Christian Pinilla. I'm not sure if Kellen would have necessarily been out of the lineup. I think anytime you miss Diego Fagundes, you're missing a very good player. But I've said many times we have other players that can fill in, and I think those players performed well tonight. We lost on a set piece and a penalty decision that didn't go our way.
Can you talk about that penalty decision?
Thanks.
Just want to say, can you talk about that penalty?
Yeah, watch it. It's a penalty.
Did the referee say anything about it?
Yeah, they say the same thing every game, that they're reviewing it. I think if you ask all the coaches around the league, every single one of us are for video review, unequivocally. But we're all right now very confused at what gets reviewed and what does not get reviewed. And we don't know if they're actually reviewing it or not. When they say it, maybe they're just saying it so we walk away. I think most people that would watch that could see that was a penalty. I don't know why Brian Wright would fall down in that situation if it wasn't. So it is frustrating when things like that happen. And I'm sure Howard Webb will get through all the kinks in video review, because again, I'm saying we are all for video review. But every coach I've spoken to now that we've played, we're all very confused with what gets reviewed and what does not get reviewed, why it gets reviewed, why it doesn't get reviewed.
Coach, I just want to go back to what you said about numbers. Obviously, it doesn't influence your philosophy. You're a high-pressing team. But my question is, when you do change the numbers, do you feel like it makes it harder to use the high press? So when you go for more defenders in the lineup?
No, it would have been, as you saw against Columbus, about halfway through the first half, we dropped off completely, because playing with a 4-2-3-1, they were finding holes through the midfield every time Zach Stefan got the ball. So with three central defenders and two wing backs, they didn't play out hardly once. Zach Stefan, count the amount of times he played long balls. I do not think he will ever hit that many long balls in a game for the remainder of the season.
Last question?
Brad, you made the tactical change at halftime, and then you had to make a second sub shortly after that with Antonio's injury. So did that limit at all anything you might have wanted to do later in the second half, now that you had to kind of burn a sub?
Well, of course it could have. As it turned out, after Claude came on, we were performing well. So there was no need to make any change at that time. Once we conceded the goal, we immediately made the change. We wanted to put a little bit more physical presence up front, because I figured then we were going to be throwing balls up front, which is what we did, which is why Brian came on.
Thank you.
Thank you.